In this video we can learn addition and subtraction of fractions. Now we can start with fraction addition. First we can learn how to add like fractions, that is fractions with same denominators. Let us do an example. Take two blocks. This is 3 by 6. And this is 2 by 6. To add like fractions, first retain the common denominator. Then add the numerators. And write the sum over the denominator. Then we will get sum of numerators 3 and 2 equals 5. By common denominator 6. Let us do another example. Take 3 by 5 and 4 by 5. Now we can find the sum of these fractions. Here the denominators are same. So make it as common denominator. Now add the numerators 3 and 4. Then we will get 3 plus 4 equals 7 as numerator and 5 as denominator. Now we can learn how to add unlike fractions. That is, fractions with different denominators. Let us add 2 by 4 and 3 by 6. Look at these fractions, the denominators are different. So before we start addition, we have to make the denominators same. We can do this by finding the LCM of denominators. Let us find LCM. LCM equals 2 into 2 into 3, that is equal to 12. That is LCM equals 12. Now we want to make this LCM 12 as the denominator of the unlike fractions. On observing, we can find that the denominator 4 becomes 12 on multiplying with 3. So we have to multiply the numerator also with 3 to keep the value same. Then the numerator becomes 2 into 3 equals 6. In the same way, the denominator 6 becomes 12 on multiplying with 2. So we need to multiply the numerator 3 also with 2. Then the numerator becomes 6. Now the fractions become like fractions. We know how to add like fractions. Add the numerators and keep the common denominator. Then we will get numerator 6 plus 6 equals 12 and denominator 12. Now we can learn how to add mixed fractions. Take mixed fractions 1 and 1 by 2. And 2 and 1 by 3. First we need to convert mixed fractions to improper fractions. Then add this using addition of fractions. On observing, we can understand that these fractions are unlike fractions. We know how to add unlike fractions. Find LCM of denominators 2 and 3. As there is no common factor to divide 2 and 3, just multiply 2 and 3 will give us the LCM. So LCM equals 2 into 3. That is equal to 6. Make this LCM 6 as the common denominator. Here the denominator 2 becomes 6 on multiplying with 3. So we need to multiply the numerator 3 also with 3 to keep the value same. Then the numerator becomes 3 into 3 equals 9. In the same way, the denominator 3 becomes 6 on multiplying with 2. So we need to multiply the numerator 7 also with 2 to keep the value same. Then the numerator becomes 7 into 2 equals 14. Now the fractions become like fractions. So to add like fractions, add the numerators and retain the common denominator. Then on adding numerators, we will get 9 plus 14 equals 23. Then the fraction becomes 23 by 6. 23 by 6 is an improper fraction. So we need to convert it into mixed fraction. When we convert the improper fraction 23 by 6 to mixed fraction, we got 3 and 5 by 6. Thus on adding 1 and 1 by 2 and 1 by 3, We get 3 and 5 by 6. Here we have completed the addition of like fraction, unlike fraction and mixed fraction. Now we can look how to subtract like fractions. For example, take 4 by 5 and 2 by 5. Subtract the smaller numerator from the bigger numerator. Look at the calculation. Keep the common denominator. So the answer will be 2 by 5. Next we can learn subtraction of unlike fractions. That is, fractions with different denominators. Let us consider 9 by 6 minus 8 by 15. Since the denominators are different, take LCM of denominators to make denominators same. Make LCM 30 as the denominator of fractions. On observing, we can understand that the denominator 6 into 5 is 30. So multiply the numerator 9 also with 5 to keep the value same. Then the numerator becomes 9 into 5 equals 45. So the fraction becomes 45 by 30. In the same way, the denominator 15 into 2 is 30. So multiply the numerator 8 also with 2 to keep the value same. Then the numerator becomes 8 into 2 equals 16. So the fraction becomes 16 by 30. Now the fractions become like fractions. We know how to subtract like fractions, bigger numerator minus smaller numerator, by the common denominator. Then we will get 45 minus 16 equals 29, and denominator equals 30. Thus on subtracting unlike fractions 9 by 6 and 8 by 15 we get 29 by 30. Now we can learn how to subtract mixed fractions. That is, fractions combined with a whole number and a fraction. Let us subtract mixed fractions 5 and 3 by 4 and 4 and 2 by 5. Before we start subtraction, we need to convert these mixed fractions to improper fractions. Let us do it. Thus mixed fraction 5 and 3 by 4 equals improper fraction 23 by 4. Now let us convert 4 and 2 by 5. When we convert 4 and 2 by 5, we got improper fraction 22 by 5. Now we have to subtract these unlike fractions. For subtracting fractions, the denominators should be same. But here it is different. So we need to find the LCM of denominators to make the denominator same. As there is no common factor for 4 and 5 other than 1, the LCM is 4 into 5 equals 20. Make this LCM 20 as the common denominator of fractions. On observing, we can find that the denominator 4 becomes 20 on multiplying with 5. So we need to multiply the numerator 23 also with 5 to keep the value same. So the numerator becomes 23 into 5 equals 115. Then the fraction becomes 115 by 20. In the same way, the denominator 5 becomes 20 on multiplying with 4. So we need to multiply the numerator 22 also with 4 to keep the value same. So the numerator becomes 22 into 4 equals 88. Then the fraction becomes 88 by 20. Now the fractions become like fractions. And we know how to subtract like fractions. Bigger numerator minus smaller numerator, and keep the common denominator. So we get 115 minus 88 equals 27. By common denominator 20. Now we can convert this improper fraction 27 by 20 into mixed fraction. Let us do it. On converting improper fraction 27 by 20 to mixed fraction, we get 1 and 7 by 20. Thus mixed fractions 5 and 3 by 4 minus 4 and 2 by 5 equals 1 and 7 by 20.
Here we have completed the subtraction of like, unlike and mixed fractions.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe our channel for more videos.